Hi, Margie with the Asking Spot, and this week's piece is already an upcycle, but it's now going to get a new style. This is the cabinet that normally goes above a fridge, and when we remodeled our kitchen, it just didn't work anymore where it was and what it was, and bleh. But I didn't want it to go into a landfill, so now it's where I keep all my
Lot of junk.
stuff, supplies. So it's very handy and it's just out here with me all the time. And yeah, I know you're thinking, oh, poor thing, you're resorting to just doing the stuff that's around you. Are you out of pieces? Sadly, no. I have stuff I'm supposed to be working on. I'm just inspired to do this piece differently, and I want to try a technique on it that I would never risk on any other piece of furniture, so why not go for it? And
Just
I'm going
that
to scuff
things
sand it a
don't
bit
always
and do
work
some
out the
better
way we
sanding on the
plan.
doors, but this is an all MDF piece.
That's a lot to overcome.
Yes, it is heavy. So let's get to cleaning and see what happens. Apology. Yeah, I know.
That's
It's
disgusting.
because it's filthy, but it's outside my house. It's not inside my house, and it wasn't holding food. I wouldn't, you know.
You get the general idea.
All right, so this is where the video should flip to me doing intense, detailed work to get these pieces out, these hardware hinges off of this piece. And honestly, if I were doing this as a commission piece or something I was going to sell, I would do that. But this is going to go back to being just that storage container in the patio. So I'm doing this more for fun and because the overall appearance I want to be different. I'm not too worried about doing it right now. And again, it is all MDF. So the more I mess with it, the more I might be actually taking it apart. Time lapse can be very deceiving because this sanding process took so long. And then I was also thinking, you know what? I still have some stripper left from a project before that I tried and really hated. I'll have a link to that. But I thought, maybe I'll give it another shot. Besides, the doors to this cabinet were just caked on with paint that wasn't removed properly. So sanding it would have just taken forever. So I thought I'd give Citrus Strip one more try.
Not far enough.
Yeah, so I'm not really far enough away because it was an incredibly windy day. Oh, and here's the other thing I should have done. I used cling wrap to put on this so it would not dry up, which is fine, but I could have also just used, the grocery bags you get from the store. I usually use cloth. Maybe that's why I didn't think of it, but I still had some around. You can cut those up and lay them down. They work just fine. Now, here I'm checking to see if some of it will go away with the cling wrap, and it's not. So I could have left it on for a lot longer, but I thought, what the heck? I'll check with my scraper. And what do you know? It starts coming off pretty easily. I went ahead and left it on for 4 hours, although everything I've heard also you can leave it up to 24 hours. Another thing I also noticed was when I was scraping it off, leaving the saran wrap down and continuing to scrape underneath it, it had a twofold effect. One, I think it kept it from drying out, which meant it stayed active longer even when scraping. And two, it made the cleanup a little bit easier. I know that when you look at it on the camera, it's like, oh, you hit pay dirt. There's appears to be wood grain. Nope. It's like Formica. And yeah, not going to happen. This is more than scuff sand. I am now going to move on painting it. Now, I got to admit, that weird laminate that's on top of this piece has actually turned out to be a benefit because I really could never have watered paint down that much if I were working with regular wood because, you can't leave wood to soak in water. That would be bad. It worked out all right in this situation. Now, I also did some texture painting sort of to make it a little bit more conducive to my going back through and sort of scrumbling in some blue. Yeah, surprise, it's blue again. It's the idea is to get sort of a scumble effect on this, and usually you would work with two wet paints and two sets of brushes simultaneously, but I didn't decide to do this until I was kind of sort of through with the black paint, and then I went, oh hey, let's give this a shot. Which basically, this is my fun piece, so everything is just winging it. Now I'm going to apply some decoupage. I think I'll switch probably to a polyacrylic just because I have more of that. And then I'll take the piece, dip it in water, then put it down where I want it. Dipping it in water gives you a little more time to move things around, and it also helps make it flatter, smoother, bubble-free is what we're going well until dun dun dun.
It gets worse.
Much worse.
This is not good. This is not good.
But again, this is my fun piece. This is my piece that I'm just going to experiment with, so hopefully.
12 seconds later.
I'm taking it off. I spritz the whole thing down with water and using some scrapers I got from an estate sale, I went ahead and scraped everything off. It is not pretty now.
Anyone on a plane?
While you want to make sure you get out all bubbles, wrinkles aren't too bad. As it dries, it kind of goes away. Oh, and I tore the sheets so they would meet in the middle and blend better. I did make a mistake here though. And when you're putting on the glue, you kind of want to keep the glue where you want stuff to stick. See that big drip down the side? Well, it also dripped down the front where the tissue paper was going. And yeah, that's not good. Yeah, mistakes were made. Sanding up and down was fine. It was a sideways sanding that it worked on this part of it, but it caused some snags later. You really just, it's got to be, north to south, not east to west, because if you do it east to west, it will occasionally snag the tissue paper like that. Luckily, with the particular pattern I picked out of this tissue paper, because it's sort of random, filling in patches is pretty easy. Generally speaking, though, tissue paper patches are easy to fill. Just you rip out a piece that's like the piece that's missing, and you can just apply your decoupage medium again and slap down your repair patch. I ended up going with this gloss acrylic top coat. I did 2 coats, and, it's not the worst thing in the world, but a spar urethane for anything that's going out the side is much better. Also, what you don't see me doing is I got these 2 stools that this, piece stands on that were $6 from, I don't know, some Big Lots place or something, and they were $6 each. So I spray painted those black. Well, I may have had to do this piece a couple times, but I finally got something that brought me joy. So that was the end result. I also learned a lot. And this was intended to be a fun piece. That's why I didn't bother doing a lot with the inside. I just wanted to make sure that I tried out a few techniques on the outside. And yeah, some of them I need more practice with. But this also reaffirmed something I kind of already knew. The importance of prep work, because all of that very boring, very annoying cleaning, sanding, stripping, sanding, cleaning again, that made it possible for me to reverse the things I didn't like. And I know most people are going to be like, well,
Get it right the first time, people.
and you won't have that. True. However, maybe 10 years or 20 years down the line, you might decide, my attitudes and tastes have changed. I'm going to switch this up. Proper prep work will make that step a lot easier. So here's where it started. If you could, please consider subscribing. I'd love a thumbs up, a comment. Which version of the finishes did you like? And speaking of finishes, here's the results. In the end, it gives me joy, and it also remains an upcycle. This is something that would have gone into a landfill, but now it's being used again, and I'm kind of happy for that. Thanks for watching The Asking Spot. Got bloopers next. But it is now, I don't know where I'm going. And it's been doing great. But I just got inspired, and now I want to do something different with it.
Oh, what is that, a boat or a plane?
Notice I'm not saying anything about it? Yep. It's just not looking good. I'm going to do some... If I were painting genuine wood, or even, the microfiber... Not microfiber. What is that wood? MDF.
Is it a bird?
Is it a plane?
So I have a rough idea where I want... It is so windy here, and cold for this part of Florida. It's just... Sorry about all the noise. I think I'm going to narrate my work to get this going. Blah, 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 blah. And I got... Oh, this is what it kind of... The basics. I got a dog. Piece a couple of times, but I learned a lot. And hi, puppies. Hi.